to another episode of Der999 Talks About. I'm the Shrine. This time the world's not falling apart. I'm pretty sure. We're not talking about anything going horribly wrong with anything I like. It's just I found, well, YouTube is being YouTube, and actually YouTube is being good. By the way, this is my first time recording since I got a cold from my grandpa who went out and got cold while he was wearing a mask. He doesn't have the death, because if he had a death, then well, he can't have the death because he was tested for it, and I can't have the death because I haven't gone outside. He was my only contact with any other human being, so I can't contact a death, despite what people say, you cannot catch it through the air. It's not jet stream or anything. I mean, yes, you can catch it in the air, just particles in the air, like droplets, but you can't catch it through jet stream and crossing state borders or anything like that. Any crazy weirdness. But anyway, let people believe. Yeah, it's just through human contact. But anyway, that's not here nor there in this conversation. I just got called in. Funny thing happened. It happened through a mask. So if I can get you, well, my grandpa can get you cold. He was wearing a thin surgical mask, by the way, the ones that you can just get at Walmart. That suck, and They'd be like 5 times bigger. I have a good one from a stand. Ken stand? Well, a stand in Central Asia. And it's actually really good. But anyway, the beginning of the death. But anyway, so this guy, I swear, sorry for the long intro, but I had to explain my voice. But this guy, I swear, Think Before You Sleep, the name of his channel. I don't know his name. This guy, I've been watching his channel, binging it because he makes good content. He's a good talk. He's a good explainer. He doesn't have a golden voice or anything. But what his channel is he is a reaction channel. I think. What he does is he watches a video or reacts to a piece of news and makes a video essay. It's not a video essay per se. It's a reaction most of the time. Sometimes it can be a video essay. Most of the times it's just a reaction video. Just a really well done one. Done one, of course, because he has almost 500,000 subscribers. And this isn't a hit piece or anything. I'm not trying to rain on his parade. It's just that this guy, I swear, he's naive. He has traveled the world. He has a college degree. But the way he talks is in theory. Whereas I have enough experience at age 26, he's older than me, by the way. I have enough experience at age 26 to know like half of the things he says is just not true. And he's smarter than this, because he does know that the internet exists. In fact, when he was discussing his college degree, he said that he didn't need one. He said that most people don't need one because you can just learn on the internet. That's true. My Lucy, my girlfriend, which I don't think he has a relationship. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it shouldn't matter on the internet. Whoever makes the better argument wins. And provides evidence is even better. And I'm going to try to make my argument, and I'm going to try to provide evidence. Well, I don't provide sources. I'm not that well put together. As you can see, we're just going to be staring at his channel page. But my Lucy, my girlfriend, well, she's a deviant artist. I'm a deviant artist. I'm also a YouTuber. I'm also like 50 other things, but that's beside the point. But think before you sleep. Well, my Lucy got a liberal arts degree. Yes, she got one of those. And you might be, and Think Before You Sleep has argued in the past you should not get a degree except for like a doctor or something that actually matters. Taking what I understand of his words. Something that you absolutely need a degree for, and something that makes absolutely sense that society needs a degree for. Like a doctor, for example. A medical doctor, of course, for the most part. But he would probably argue that Lucy, my girlfriend, who I'm in love with, by the way, this is actually an important bit. I don't think this man actually knows what love is. Nor does, like, the vast majority of his audience. Some of his audience does. This guy gets on most of his videos, thousands of comments, so I can explain them. See, my comments is why I'm making this video, just to get out there for you guys, at least. And yeah, also anything if you didn't bias, you would probably hate me saying that. But anyway. But this guy, well, he's probably against my Lucy getting a liberal arts degree, because he would think it'd be useless, which you learn online, because I learned how to be a pixel artist online and just natural skill. Why did my Lucy get a liberal arts degree? Why would anyone get a degree that's not a doctor, that's not being a medical doctor, and that's not a job that absolutely requires it, period? Because she didn't know how to arts. She could have learned it online, but, like, it's still common for people to go to college and get degrees. And what degrees also help you with is learning the system. Is learning how to be in the system. I am not good at that. I'm not that. I'm like over the last few days I realized something. I am not a lot of things. This guy uses the alpha, beta, SIP, whatever chart. Well, SIP's on the chart, but you know what I mean. He will call you. He will label you as. Well, he labels people as things. Let's say. Not without due logic, at least. Well, he labels people as. He likes to label people as things like, oh, this guy's a simp. Oh, this guy's a beta. That guy's an alpha. That guy's a sigma, etc. I'm none of those because they don't apply to me. Why don't they apply to me? Because I'm not a sigma. Because I won't desert a woman that I had kids with. I'm not an alpha because I'm not a jock. I just don't have a thick head like that. I have a thick head. Yes, I'm hard-headed, but I'm not thick-headed. I'm not the rest of that tree because I am not those either. I'm not beta. Enough people orbit me that it just isn't the thing. I mean, I'm not an alpha because I don't. I'm not a sigma or an alpha either because I don't make an income that's worth anything. $36 a day plus whatever bonus I get from book sales and whatever. Arts on Deviant Art, which none of that's sold yet. And I don't expect you guys to buy anything because I know you're poor. Poorer than me. Because you don't have the support I do. Unfortunately, and that sucks, and I want to grow Green&Blue to help with that. What's going on? This guy is all true. This guy wants to do good too. He absolutely understands the concepts. He understands the theory. He just doesn't know how to practice it. From watching a good dozen of his videos or so, as you can see by all the red bars, just let's continue scrolling down. Is that literally it? That's not literally it. Excuse me. Don't you dare. No, I said don't you dare. Yes, that's better. Oh, well, yeah, a couple dozen of his videos. He doesn't have as nearly as many as mine, but his are better produced. Like, really well produced. Like, he puts 50 hours into these things. I put 3 times the footage I record. 3 times the time I put into recording the footage. If that, because I have such a boss system that I can just, I streamline my process so efficiently that it's now like 2 times the process of doing a live commentary gameplay and then just uploading it. Like, it's only 2 times the length of the video. Because uploading and rendering. This guy puts 50 hours of work. He does research. He doesn't do enough. But then again, the vast majority of stuff I know, I can't really source it. It's hard, especially on modern day internet with all the walls that have been put up, even on Bing. As much as I love Bing, it's the internet's not what it used to be 10 years ago. I can tell you that much. Which, like I said, this guy's older than me. He was in high school in 2000s. I was in elementary school in the 2000s. And I wasn't held back. I was almost held back a few times, but that's the point. But anyway, so going back to this guy. So yeah, my sister has several degrees, but my girlfriend has a liberal arts degree because she wanted to learn how to arts. And that's it. And she's a good artist. She has around 10,000 watchers on Deviant Art. There's some reasons why you can't find her account. It's not that I'm lying. You have to trust me on that, though, but it's just we have a very special relationship. One of one. How we met, how everything works unofficially. There's the official story of we met on DeviantArt. There's an official story of I can't tell you. But one day you'll be able to know. But until then, just trust me on this. You don't have to trust me on this. You can still think I'm single, but that's a story for another time when the time comes. But regardless, she has a DeviantArt that's successful that you can't find to prove it. But besides that, I'm self-aware about that. Like, he is self-aware about half the things. But, and as far as I know, she is good at her DeviantArt. She has savings. She doesn't earn a whole ton because DeviantArtists don't earn bank like YouTubers do. And YouTubers don't earn bank. I don't have permission from her to tell you her income. I tell her my income every day because I'm open like that, and also because of her situation. I wouldn't exactly know how much anyway. But it's if I had to guess, it's in between $500 to I want to say $3,000 a month, and just say that's fine. Because I just texted her and see if it was, I officially texted her and see if it was, fine. But anyway, so, which if Think Before You Sleep wants to do a collab where we talk about things, that'd be great. You can interview me or whatever, but or we just talk off camera. Doesn't matter. I don't have any enmity towards him. I just think it's kind of silly when he says not to paint people with a brush That's my words for his. That's how I would describe it. Not painting an entire group with one brush, and yet he typically paints women with one brush. For example, what recently been getting to me, is the fact that he believes that you can't 100% if you are a man, which he is very pro-man. He is not anti-woman. He is pro-man. He is anti-feminist, yes, but he's pro-man. Although he thinks that feminists come from the 1960s, no, they come from the Victorian era, apparently. They're actually feminists are the evolution of the suffrage movement. You know, universal rights. The movement that brought us universal rights and voting for everyone. That movement. My great grandmother remembers that. My grandma's grandma is how she's always described it. Like, oh, my grandma. She always says, my. Excuse me. It's called. My grandmother on my father's side's grandma was alive during that time and barely liked talking about it. So she was probably the first feminist in our family. I am also a feminist. You might be wondering, is Lucy a feminist? No, she's not. So that's one thing we're kind of antithetical on, me and this guy. He's anti-feminist. I am feminist. I am not pro-modern feminist. I'm not pro this modern feminist movement that continues shifting goalposts. But I am pro-equality. Treating people as equals. And the moment you stop doing that, I'm going to talk about it. Much like, and by his videos, he would respect this. So, like I said, he thinks that if a woman sees her ex, that's poor language. If a woman is friends with her ex, to use my example, if a woman is friends with her ex, dump her. Period. You have 50 kids with her. Have you been married for 70 years? Dump her. She talked to her ex once. How dare she? If you're telling it to a man, which by the way, this guy, I swear, he doesn't say men with an E. He says man, which is hilarious. Why is it hilarious? You might be wondering. Because man with an A, originally meant humankind in the English language. Back in the before times, I'm not quite fully on the story, but man originally meant human. And originally meant humankind. So him saying man, even though he probably doesn't know this, it's basically saying humankind, in my eyes. Even though he's trying to say men with an E. But how he pronounces it is man. Every single time. Which isn't a bad thing, I don't think, but it's just, yeah, I find it interesting. So every time I comment on his videos, I always say with an A. But anyway, going back to this guy. This is probably going to be a long video. I actually can't see my timer. Because did I start my timer? No, I didn't. Whoops. I'm going back to this guy. So he thinks that if you talk to your ex even once, dump instantly. Don't ask questions. I fundamentally don't understand this as a human adult. I just can't. I just can't understand this. Like when you play peekaboo with a toddler, the reason why you can play peekaboo with a toddler by putting in case you don't know this somehow, maybe it never occurred in your culture, I don't know. But you play peekaboo with a toddler by putting hands over your own eyes and opening them and saying peekaboo. The toddler, because you covered your face, thinks you're gone. And then when you open it, it's toddler surprise because you're back. Or somehow, or however that works. This man believes that all human males, all adult human males are toddlers. Because he believes that you can play peekaboo with them, and they will dump you. He believes you can play peekaboo with them, and it would work every single time. Because apparently these guys don't understand the fundamental fact that a person does not drop off the face of the earth, does not disappear, just because they broke up with you. Or they broke up with her, or whatever. And you're holding women to an impossible standard, which is something he always says about man, me using his words, man, what he always says about men, but the second a woman talks to her ex, all you could know, the only reason they're an ex is because they just couldn't live together. How many people divorced during COVID because they couldn't live together? Yes, we had issues with household abuse or whatever it is. Spousal abuse. Domestic abuse, that's the word. Yes, we had issues with domestic abuse, but not all breakups are because of abuse. I think the reason why he thinks that all breakups are because of abuse, or why I think he what? Okay, let's try again. The reason why I think he thinks all breakups are because of abuse, because he never stops talking about it, which is fine. That's his message to the world. Speak your message. Speak your truth. The issue is telling men who are vulnerable, based on this chat, they are vulnerable, and they like him, maybe even love him as a YouTube star, or not even a YouTube star. He only has 500,000 subscribers, but a YouTuber. The issue is, and they all back each other up in the chat too. Like there are some that have dissenting opinions, but there's not many who have dissenting opinions in his chat or in his comments. Which that's going to come to another thing in a little bit. He does like the one thing that comes up in his comments a lot. He absolutely doesn't like it, just like he doesn't like women talking to their exes. Which, the reason why I think sorry for my repeating myself, it's just how I am talking at the moment. The reason why I think he thinks that all women, all breakups are from abuse, is based on his other content. What other thing is running through his head? And to give you the advice, the very sure advice, he said this multiple times, at least 3 times in his videos over the last 3 years. I have only gone back to 2019 in his backlog. Uploaded backlog, I mean. But the reason why he might say that, the only reason I can think of why he would think that don't talk to your ex is because the ex is crazy. But like, why though? Like, what is the problem with talking to your ex? In one of his more recent videos, he was talking about he was going off of a daily midday talk show. That's not the word for it. A daytime television talk show. Which I don't like either. But he was going off of a poll they had where apparently most women, according to this poll, in his mind, most women, or I don't even think it was that charitable. I think he said, he seemed to imply he thought that all women were this way, or at least don't take the risk. That apparently, according to this poll, or not to this poll, to the scientific report, to the scientific study, or whatever it was, because it was an actual study, I think, or it could have been, it was something. But according to this, and of course I do encourage you to go check out his channel, chat with him if you can, go to his comments and talk to him and comment on his videos in regards to content video, and just watch his channel if you want, see what you think of him, and then come back here and tell me what you think of him. Then we can have a discussion here too. But the thing is, so this poll said a lot of women, it was some fixed number. Some fixed number of women believe, like 100, 200, maybe more than that, I don't know. I don't remember. But a fixed number of women believe, a fixed number of women have a backup man. A backup man in their back pocket who effectively they cheated on with you. And I say that because the man in the back pocket is either a childhood friend, probably, that is a friend they've known for years, maybe even a childhood friend that to use an uncharitable term, they NTR'd. Don't look that up if you don't know what that means. They NTR'd and started dating you. That's bad. Her hiding that from you is worse. Okay, that's bad. That's really bad. But the problem is, whatever it was, served to back up, this whatever it was, aided to the story of this video with, think before you sleep. Think before you sleep. Use this as a paintbrush to paint all women. To stop relations immediately. I don't care if you've been together for hundreds of years and you have millions of children. Don't stop it. Make them an ex. That's the most childish thing a man could do. If you're already together and have children, if everything was fine until then, yes, she NTR'd somebody, but, like, what are you going to do about it now? Like, what are you going to do about it now? You have a child, a human being. Assuming the relationship is healthy in every other way, what are you going to do about it now? Like, what? Make her a single mother? Make you a single father? Give up for adoption? Like, what are you going to do with that child? Child are not playthings for your enjoyment. They are not. Stop behaving that way, guys. Stop it. Just stop it. It's serious. Not everyone. The vast majority of his comments are like, oh yeah, I'll totally dump a woman, even though I have like 100 years, even though I had like 5,000 years with her, and we populate like 15 galaxies with her. I'm just gonna dump her. What kind of boy are you? That's the fact. What kind of boy are you? You're not a man anymore. You're a boy. stop being a man when you stop taking responsibilities for your actions. So, yeah, she lied to you, but so what? Yeah, she may dump you one day because you stubbed your toe and she doesn't like men, she doesn't like her alpha male stubbing his toe, but like, it didn't matter up till then. And then you could go to a marriage counselor and fix it. If it's that bad, and if it's worse than that, why did you marry her? Like, why? Like, you're lowering your intelligence because you're assuming that all women are evil. That all women are out to get all men, and vice versa. You're assuming that the game that's supposed to be fun, you're assuming the cat and mouse game is supposed, the dating game is supposed to be fun. Raising families are fun. They are not. What the heck what the heck? They're not. I'm gonna dump this woman because she want to go talk to her ex, who they're probably best friend, or they're probably friends or even best friends. How dare she? Come off as a jealous person, as a jealous, ungenuine person. You come off literally as bad as her. If you, in your own mind, you're literally the same, which is feminist, I guess. You come off as feminist. You're just like her. How do you deal with someone that dare talk to another person? I'm going to leave them. Well, you say that about women all the time. Women leave men because they talk to other women. Like, what? If you don't like a jealous woman, why would a jealous woman like a jealous man? I mean, why would a woman like a jealous man? What? I understand the MGTOW movement, the men before, I don't understand the, they don't have the acronym memorized, but it's basically men going their own ways with acronyms. And what it is a movement where, frankly, children believe they can exist without women. And there's also women that believe they can exist without men. And I look at you, I look at the women, I look at you, I look at the men, and look at the women, look at the men, look at the women, and I just shake my head. I'm like, have we fallen from God's grace? Have we fallen from the ideals of this country? Like, what? Now, another thing this guy does is he wants to bring back the nuclear family, or whatever it's called, the atomic family, nuclear family, the 1960s family. Because he's a traditional family man. Yeah, he doesn't have a family, and it's like, he's older than me. I don't exactly know how old, but he's older than me. Back in the olden days, they got married when they were like 20. My great-grandpa got married in the 1930s, 1940s? No, 1930s. My great-grandpa married a woman when they were like 20-something. My dad and my mom, may she rest in peace, by the way, they married each other after a year. If me and Lucy could be in the same room, we would marry, and we'd known each other we would have probably married instantly, but we'd known each other for 2 years, and we would marry. I mean, there are people out there who've been together for 10 years, and that just boggles my mind. Like, why aren't you married yet? But there are reasons for it, like I have a dentist, a dental technician, who has an 18-year-old son, from a past relationship, and she's not married to, and she's never, and from a past relationship, and she is dating and she's dating current man, another man, and they're not married because she doesn't want to get married, and she's actually bitter about the fact that, she's sworn about the fact that Florida gave up its if you live together for like if two people live together, they're married. No, that thing that existed, which still exists in other states, but that kind of marriage needs to be brought back, honestly. Which does beg the question: how in the world does roommates work? If you're together, if you are, because the reason why Floridians voted against it, because we're in Florida, we vote for things. Because the reason why Floridians voted against it was because they thought that was a route to gay marriage. I shouldn't laugh at that, because that removed a great Floridian thing that needs to be brought back for a really dumb reason. So going back to Think Before You Sleep. So that's the biggest dumb thing that he said. So they says a lot on this channel. Maybe not a lot, but maybe not a lot. It's not a core tenet of his channel anyway. But he says it every so often that if a woman if a woman dares to speak a single word to her ex, dump her. It's stupid. You know how I know that's stupid? Because I have an aunt Shirley. I have an aunt who is a single mother, who's been raising her son. I'll have to ask her and make a follow-up video. No, probably not, but maybe up there in the comments. But she was I don't even know if they were divorced. They probably are divorced, but I don't think anything bad happened from him. I don't think my frankly granduncle, but my grandaunt divorced my granduncle when my cousin was young, and this grandaunt is on my grandmother's side, my grandmother's sister, younger sister, because my grandmother is oldest. I'm oldest, my grandmother's oldest. I'm dating someone who's the youngest. My sister is dating someone who's oldest. There's something about that I like in our family. And it goes back, and that weird tradition that just somehow happens because we didn't plan any of this. Going on for centuries. But anyway, so she is divorced. She is raising a single son. Yeah, it's a single son. She is raising a single child by herself as a single parent. However, because we are a close-knit family, because we come from the South, we've been in the South for a long time. Before we were in the South, we came from Ulster, now known as Northern Ireland, which Ulster are as close to our Ulster and Irish, at least back in the day, or basically the same difference between Canadians and Americans. However you relate Canadians and Americans in your head, essentially the same thing was true in Northern Ireland and Ireland before the English came knocking down doors. But going back to the story, my aunt, she divorced him. I don't think he's paying payments or anything. So because it's a fairly healthy relationship. I don't think he probably would have stayed around regardless. But we have a healthy relationship with her ex, my great uncle. Because, I mean, we have a healthy relationship because, frankly, my great uncle is still my great uncle, Grand Uncle Warren, is still friends with Grandpa, and they've always been, not always been friends. That's not how things work, but they've been friends as long as my Aunt Shirley was married to him. So, when my grand when my grand uncle Bobby was still alive, he was in far worse shape than I was, and he's been disabled. He couldn't work because of seizures most of his life ever since he was a teenager. He's been dead for a few years. My great grandpa died when he was 90 whatever. I believe he was 90 whatever. My family has no idea if he was 70, 80, or 90. I assume 90. I hope 90. For my grandma's sake and for my sake, with my sister's sake, I hope he was 90. And with my heart, he probably was 90. Because my EKG is amazing. My EKG was perfect. And if you want evidence of my EKG being perfect, I can literally show you. So if you want me to post that in the community post, or even a Deviant Art, let me know. But anyway, so we're still a happy family despite one of them being divorced. According to this guy, I think Before You Sleep, that's literally physically impossible. That's against the laws of physics. How dare you still be together and still be like, how dare you still be friends with the person you've broken up with? That is literally against the law of physics. Or at least that's something like his attitude. It's not really his attitude. I don't want to frame it the wrong way, but it's to me, when I watch his videos, he is very affirmative and don't date women or break up with women who talk to their ex. Not cheat on you, mind you. Talk. So, moving on from this subject, because I've said everything I wanted on, it's just stupid. And you're a child, if you're a boy, if you believe they should break up with someone strictly on this fact that they talked to someone they didn't talk to before you. That's literally jealousy. That's bad. That's sinful. Don't do that.